Hey guys, this is Stella. Stella is 18 years old and a senior in high school, and she has volunteered to complete this assessment with me. And so today I'll be administering the Yale Brown Obsessive Compulsive Scale, which will help measure how many obsessive thoughts that you have or repetitive behaviors that you might have that affect your daily life. And so before we begin, I'd like to start by defining obsessions and compulsions so that you know the difference. So obsessions are unwelcome and distressing ideas, thoughts, images, or impulses that repeatedly enter your mind. They may seem to occur against your will. They may be repugnant to you. You may recognize them as senseless, and they may not fit your personality. Compulsions, on the other hand, are behaviors or acts that you feel driven to perform, although you recognize or may recognize them as senseless or excessive. At times, you may try to resist doing them, but this may prove to be difficult. You may experience anxiety that does not diminish until the behavior is completed. So let me give you some examples of obsessions and compulsions. An example of an obsession is the recurrent thought or impulse to do serious physical harm to your children, even though you never would. An example of a compulsion is the need to repeatedly check appliances, water faucets, and the lock on the front door before you can leave the house. While most compulsions are observable behaviors, some are unobservable mental acts, such as silent checking or having to recite nonsense phrases to yourself each time that you have a bad thought. So do you have any questions about what these words mean? No? Perfect. Okay, Stella, so now we're going to go through the symptom checklist. So we're going to go through different kinds of obsessions that you may have experienced. You may be experiencing them currently or in the past, and that's how I want you to rate them. So to start, do you ever fear that you might harm yourself?
Past.
Okay. Have you ever feared that you might harm others?
No.
No? Okay. Do you ever experience like violent or horrific images? Like, do you ever obsess over that?
Okay.
Like in your head?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Currently or in the past?
Currently.
Okay. Do you have a fear of blurting out obscenities or insults?
No.
Okay. Do you have a fear of doing something else embarrassing?
Yes.
You currently experience that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you several questions about your obsessive thoughts. And these will be in regards to your specific target obsessions. So the first question, we're going to look at time occupied by your obsessive thoughts. And how we're going to rate this and how I want you to rate this is on a scale from 0 to 4. So 0 being none, 1 being mild, so less than 1 hour a day or occasional intrusion. 2 being moderate, so 1 to 3 hours a day or frequent intrusion of those obsessive thoughts. 3 being severe, meaning that you experience these obsessive thoughts greater than 3 and up to 8 hours a day or frequent intrusion. And then 4 is the most extreme, so you experience obsessive thoughts greater than 8 hours a day or near constant intrusion. So how much of your time is occupied by obsessive thoughts? So I would like for you to rate that on a scale of 0 to 4. And another way I could ask that is, how frequently do the obsessive thoughts occur?
Probably like moderate, number 2.
Number 2, okay. This is what we will be scoring. So if there's a 2 here, we would go to the very back, and that would be this question right here, which is 1, and we would check the 2, and so on and so forth for each section. And these are the questions they're saying will not be a part of the total score, which is 1B and then 6B at the end. And then These will be combined to get the obsession subtotal score, and these will be combined to get the compulsion subtotal score.